Hello Warriors, welcome to another episode of Spartan Downunder. Today we are located live at Picton, Sydney for the Australian National Series. What an epic weekend has been. Today we're actually fortunate enough to be joined by Andrew Pap. Andrew Pap is an entrepreneur, owns a few companies, also Optimal Nutrition on elite athlete as well. So welcome your Warriors and welcome Andrew.
Thanks for having me, guys. I'm excited to be here on this beautiful day. Awesome weekend it's been thus far.
Yeah, it has been. Thank you so much for taking the time to come here and be with us. So tell us, who are you? What do you do? Why are you here?
Well, I've always been a big fan of Spartan for a long time now. I think almost 10 years. And this was a great opportunity for, I think, both brands to sort of collaborate. It's a really nice synergy there where everyone comes off the field after a hard yakka, hard effort, and having the ice baths there with the company that we started, the Dope. It just makes sense, and we're just seeing everyone's relief, but also apprehension to step into the ice bath, but how they feel coming out of it, particularly those, and many of them who do back-to-back races over the weekend. It's been phenomenal.
Oh, fantastic. And I mentioned earlier that Dope's one of our key sponsors behind Spartan. I'd be interested for your perspective. So what does an ice bath do for recovery?
Well, look, what we're trying to do from a physiological point of view is increase the rate of recovery through increasing your circulation. So we're just tapping into mechanisms that exist, that are at play, but we're just going to speed that process up. So when you step into cold water, one of the things that will happen with your circulatory system is it's going to constrict, vasoconstriction. And so that's where your hands and feet will start to get tingle and numb, sometimes pain. And then when you step out and your body has to reheat itself, vasodilation will occur and it starts to shunt the blood around the body. And so you start to just fast pace that normal mechanism of circulation, removing some metabolites from, obviously being out on course and getting you ready for the next day, or at least you'll be able to sit on the toilet properly the next day anyways. Yeah. And that's one of many of the, the benefits that occur, which is awesome.
I think that's fantastic. I mean, I've got an ice bath, and all the technical stuff that Andrew talked about, I couldn't tell you to that degree, but I can tell you that since I started using an ice bath, the recovery for me, being able to run every day, has been able to actually be able to take it up to the next level. One of the things that I'm really interested in doing is we've actually been doing a collaboration with Dope, and we've also been doing it with so Optimal Nutrition. We've actually given out 3 awards this weekend, so I think that's fantastic, being able to actually give out some awards for people that actually collaboration with Spartan, Optimum Nutrition, and also Dope. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, look, I've been working with Optimum for a couple of years now. I guess I'm heavily involved in the fitness industry. I'm always pushing my body. I've got a 250K ultra race in Switzerland in a couple of months' time. And, I'm a full-time dad. I've got, different businesses, so my life is full on. And so nutrition plays a role in that, and having the ability to supplement some of those, nutrients that are critical to optimize your health and well-being and improve performance. So what we love to see, that collaboration at the Dope and with the Spartan, you jump into the ice tub, you stay in there for a couple of minutes, you come out, you get your protein pre-made shake, and you just see people going, this is where it's at, and I think it's a phenomenal synergy. So it's important to make sure that you're optimizing your protein intake, particularly around exercise, which we tend to lack because usually to source it, you have to have a meal and everything like that, so have it there and then is perfect.
Yeah, and do you think that your diligence in training to prepare for these events actually help you just in your everyday life as well?
Absolutely. There's so many transferable benefits. How you do one thing is how you do a lot of things. And I think because if you're trying to continually push yourself, you're exposing yourself to things that are uncomfortable. And when we stay in our comfort zone, we get complacent and we don't realize what our potential can truly be. And when you go outside that comfort zone, you make mistakes. You fall short. You get to upsets, but you also find triumph and achievement. And then you realize you just continue to push. There's benefit in doing hard things, going into Spartan, benefits in jumping into an ice tub. There's benefits in always pushing the envelope and just making sure that you govern it so you don't go too hard too quick, which we've all done. That's why we get injured, right? We can burn out. You do take on too many responsibilities. And talking to everyone, not just like athletes, but people. Life is hard. And what I love about the cold tubs is you can't control the temperature of the water, but you can control how you respond to it. We can't control what happens in our life, these unforeseen circumstances, but how we respond to that is in our control. And so these little takeaways that you get from those hard things you do, you can transfer that into those hard times in your life, which I've been able to benefit myself in my own life.
Yeah, absolutely. And what else outside of, doing ice baths and proper nutrition do you actually do to recover and make sure that you are prepared for living your life and for the next race?
Yeah, good question. I mean, the king of everything is sleep, right? And it's not always in our control. We got kids, you got shift workers, all these things can happen in your life, but trying to be diligent with our sleep, trying to track that, and not to get obsessed with it, but to make sure that there is some sort of routine. That's number one. Nutrition, hydration, of course, your training, but most of all, fitting it into your lifestyle. Don't try to get a circle into a square, because you're just going to ruin yourself. You just get more stressed about it than the good that it's actually doing. So finding where you can insert these things into your life that you enjoy, that means you're going to be able to adhere to it. Adherence is the biggest thing we should aim for. So that's probably I guess my number one advice there.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Because I think enjoying it is such a huge part of it. We don't do this because we're being forced to. And that's something that I found in my training, actually being if I force myself to do it, I lose all enjoyment, and then why am I doing it? So actually finding ways to be able to do this activity and enjoy it every day to the point where it just becomes natural. And now, if I don't do it, I feel like I'm missing something in my life and in my day.
Yeah. Exactly right. So we start to build an identity around it, and I think Spartan has done that so well. You guys have an ideology around who are you. It's not just I finished 10Ks. It's no, I'm a Spartan. And obviously coming from the roots of Sparta itself, it's deep-seated. And I think everyone feels that, and we want to be a part of collective, and we always tend to gravitate towards an identity. And if you can be around a positive identity that's uplifting you, pushing you, and supporting you, that's what I think is so special about Spartan, and that's what's so special about what we're creating at the Dope and these other companies that I'm involved with. So it's a really good, synergy there.
Yeah, I think that's a great crossover. I mean, one of the things that we're trying to push through Spartan is about getting through that physical and also that mental adversity. So the things you talked about, there's things in life that you can't control. And it's how you actually respond to those. It's the same thing you're out on the Spartan course. You hit an 8-foot wall. It's not actually how you're going to hit that 8-foot wall, it's how you respond to the wall. And you go through life, you take that, what you got on the Spartan course, and you take that and you actually help yourself both physical and mental health, which I think is fantastic.
Yeah, I love that. That's awesome.
Yeah, and I mean, for our listeners, do you have any life wisdom that you could share just for life, but also getting out there and just doing the thing that you're really wanting to do?
Yeah, look, I'm definitely not a wise guy, but if I could share anything, I would say that you want to think big but start small. It's so easy to kind of get caught in the whimsic of social media, seeing that, does everyone smash life? Am I the only one that's struggling? So we should set high ambitions and aspirations, but not sort of hold ourselves to those expectations. That's going to be my future self. That's who I'm aiming for. But today, where am I? Where's the gap? How big's the gap? Where do I need to start? And so that 1 foot in front of the other approach, when you fall off the horse, get back on as quick as possible. Don't go, oh shit, I went and had takeout. Oh shit, I didn't train today, so I'm just going to ride it off till next week. You'll get to next week and you'll have less motivation to get there. So surround yourself with good people. You are of high value. You need to make sure that those people around you are giving back to you as much as you're giving back to them. So stop hitting yourself, running your head into a brick wall constantly. You can't change people, so find those who want to work with you, not against you.
Well, Andrew, look, I really appreciate your time today. I appreciate everything that you're doing with Dope. I appreciate what you're doing supporting Spartan, Optimum Nutrition. I think it's fantastic to have you out in the course. Tori, any other questions for Andrew before we close off?
No, I think everything, and I think you're totally right. Just starting small. When you put those massive goals in front of you that feel really unachievable at the time, it just stops you from actually trying. And I think, as you've said, as so many people we've spoken to have said, as Yara has said, just don't be afraid of failure and just do it, because you don't know what you're capable of until you actually start and you try.
Yeah, look, if you're starting small and you want to go to the positive direction and someone brings you down because of that, that's a clear sign they're not the right person to be around, or you got to set some boundaries. So I'm glad we're in this kind of cohesive environment where everyone's on the same page. It just makes it so easy to get from goal to goal. So thanks for having me, guys. Love to be here. Hopefully come back on later on.
Yeah, no, of course. Thank you so much for taking the time to be here.
Thanks, Tori. Thanks, Russ.
Thanks, Andrew. So, Warriors, thank you again for another episode of Spartan Downunder. See you at the starting line. Take care.
Yee-hoo.